Good evening, afternoon. How are y'all? This is such a crowd, and I hope this really encourages and blesses your kids because we are really excited, and they're kind of just rip roaring, ready to go back there. Thank you for coming. Your kids have truly been a joy, and I don't say that because that's the thing you're supposed to say when you've taught kids in choir. They have truly been a joy and an honor to work with, and I don't mean this to sound snarky, so I hope it doesn't come out this way, but there is just a difference with homeschool kids. There just really is, and when you walk into a room, I think it's because they're all used to having to be with their siblings all day and get along with different ages, and so they walk into a setting like this, and there is a kindness and a respectfulness and a tenderness about your kids that has amazed me. Even at the dress rehearsal Thursday night, I have never had children as well behaved in a long, boring, tedious dress rehearsal as your kids were. I think if it wasn't time for them to sing, if we were messing with microphones and trying to figure out where the musicians should go, they just sat there quietly and whispered amongst themselves. They weren't throwing things across the room and going wild. So it's every bit of this journey has been a joy with your kids so far, and thank you for letting us do that. They had 12 weeks of rehearsal. A lot of these children in our chorus choir were singing music that truly was probably way over their heads. It's really for fourth and up. And yet some of these 6 and 7-year-olds, 8-year-olds gave it their all and did a pretty fantastic job. So I hope that it encourages you how talented they are and what they're capable of and where they could be in a few years, because they really kind of blew us away. So anyway, without further ado, it is my honor to welcome you to the debut performance of the Jubilate Children's Chorus. Thank you. Light was the light of men. The light shines in the darkness, and the darkness has not overcome it. The true light coming into the world. And the Word became flesh and dwelt among us, and we have seen His glory, glory full of grace and truth. For from His fullness we have all received grace upon grace, and truth, which came through Jesus Christ. Jesus, the one and only Jesus, God with us.
And
Am I on again? There we go. Sort of. There we go. Okay. While our little ones, our junior choir, I shouldn't call them little, are coming up, the kids in both choirs participated in a fundraiser. And the goal was to raise money so that we could, through Gospel for Asia, make a purchase to help people in East Asia just bless them this Christmas. Because it was important to all of us, and especially to me and Colleen, that we make sure that even as we're teaching our children how to sing and to sing well, to sing beautiful music, to sing it with excellence, that we reinforce the truth that all of that, without our hands matching what our lips say, is like a clanging cymbal. It's just it's lost its beauty and its sweetness if our hands don't match what our lips say. And so for weeks we had a box. One of our students helped. She put a poster board together. Adrienne did. She got the box all ready for donations, and so we would just bring it every week and have it sitting right here. And I tried not to watch kids put it in because I didn't want to make a thing out of it, and it wasn't a competition. They each decided between their parents how much they were going to give or earn to give, and it was just kind of a quiet gift. So when I counted it up last week, I had to take a picture, and I wept because first of all, we had all these lots of coins, and then dollar bills that clearly had been owned by a child or a student that were like rolled up and folded into things, and a lot of ones. But the total they raised was $215. And most of these children are not over the age of 9, which says quite a bit about what their hearts were. And they were so proud. They would come in with like a gum container full of coins and dump it in. And they were so proud of what they did, and they gave with such joy. I just have to think that blessed the heart of their Father because they gave with cheer, and I think the Lord will honor that gift and make it bear fruit that they can't fathom. So I've just found out today that what we were able to purchase was, we purchased a lamb, a goat, and a chicken for family. Yes. Such a blessing. So now our junior choir is going to sing for you. Be a hilarious giver, as a matter of fact. They are so impressive. I don't even know what to tell you. They're something. Okay, so we would like to invite you to sing this very last song with us. It's called Joy Has Dawned, and some of you moms have listened to this probably many times on a recording, so you already know it. But if not, we have the lyrics that will be up here. And if you would just sing with us, just as a response to the worship they've led us beautifully in, that would be an honor. Thank you. exhausting. Your Max is never tired. I would love to introduce to you our fantastic, incredibly gifted musicians, and I wish there were words for me to tell you just how blessed we are and lucky we are to have these people playing with us, because they have studied at some of the finest schools in the country, and they're here playing with our kids now out of love, because they have kids in here and because of their hearts. So Chloe Ann she is the pianist, but that title is just so understates what all she's done. We're sort of the administration / graphic people / what else do we do? I don't know. Arrangers, grunt work, all of the above. And we have made music together, taught choirs together since we were students ourselves. So we go a very, very long way back. And I wouldn't have done it if I didn't have Chloe Ann. There's nobody on the planet I'd rather work with. And she's just one of the kindest people you're ever going to meet on the face of the planet. So to have her, I mean, your kids with her are blessed indeed. So anyway, yes. And then this would be her husband. So that says a lot about him. Everything I said about her, he had really good sense to marry her, and so that tells you something. And Andrew's a multi-talented musician. We joke that we'll just be like, hey, could you learn to play this instrument real quick? And could you play this? Because he not only plays the piano beautifully, he plays some other things as well. So I'm hoping one day he'll break out the French horn for us. Yes. Catherine with Jubilate, she's a senior in high school on the flute. I mean, very extraordinarily talented, and we are so blessed to have her. And she also is filling in for a friend, and so she had less than a week to learn and play this music, and she knocked our socks off when she came into dress rehearsal. So yes. And then Sarah. Sarah is a full-time mom, but also an incredibly gifted violinist, and both of her little girls are in choir with us, and that she would lend us her talents to us was an honor indeed. She's just a very, very fine musician in her own right. The pastor of this church, Tom Brown, also has been our sound technician for this program, and he has to put on our practice every week while he's trying to work in his office. There's all these kids in here doing their vocal warm-ups and their vocal slides, and he's a very patient man. He is a homeschooling dad himself I always mix it 7 or 8 kids. 7. I don't know why I think it's 8. I'm just giving you more kids than you already have. But he and his wife are also homeschoolers, which I think is where a lot of his heart for this and his support came from. So we are very grateful to him for everything he's done for us. There isn't time for me to tell you what he did to get this sound system even up to what it is, because he's dealing with an old building and old equipment, and he did extra things just for us, and we are very, very grateful for that. And then Andrew, there you are, Andrew Adkison. His kids are in the choir as well, and baby number 5 is on the way, so we will have lots of Adkisons in our choir for years to come. But he volunteered just out of the kindness of his heart to video this program for us, and he will upload it to a special site. I'm told it's videographed in HD as well. And so when I have the link, I'll send you the link, and you can go and get the video of your kids. So hopefully you were just able to sit and let Andrew have all the stress, and y'all just could watch, and that was a lovely thing. So anyway, thank you so much. I have one more announcement. The student hymnal. I wanted to announce this for friends of ours. They actually live across the street, but Dave and Barbara Lehman have been pretty well ensconced in the Dallas church music scene for years and years. Barbara has taught music at Providence Christian Academy for the last 18 years. She's kind of a music expert when it comes to working with children, and mentored me quite a bit in my teens, as did her husband. He used to be the minister of music at the church where I served. And they have such a heart for communicating or reinstilling in families and children a love of hymns and theology learned through hymns. And just give me a second on my soapbox. It's just interesting to me how often, most of us homeschool because we want excellence in history, we want excellence in science, we want excellence in literature. We are very particular about the types of curriculums we give our children. And what's grieved me over the years is to watch how on every level that can be so important, but then when you look at the types of music oftentimes sung in churches, it's what Charlotte Mason, a lot of it, not all of it, but a lot of it would be what Charlotte Mason might call kind of dribble. The music's kind of, it's very emotive, but there's not a lot of theology in it. There's not a lot of concrete biblical truth in it. And for most of us in this room, probably in our darkest hour, it's the hymns that came back. Amazing Grace, which everybody knows, but Like a River Glorious is God's Perfect Peace, or Mighty Fortress is Our God. And most children today will grow up never learning those hymns, or they might learn the 3 that your church really likes, but then the rest of it is kind of gone by the wayside. So Dave and Barbara took it upon themselves to put together 115 of the most what they considered vital hymns, some of them written by modern hymn writers, and then many of them the classics, into this student hymnal. However, it's also a devotional / curriculum for your kids. We're using it now as our devotional. It follows the Christian calendar. It starts with Christmas and goes all the way through Pentecost and our response to the gospel. It's stunningly gorgeous because every page has information about the hymn. It has a devotional about it. It's not written in the traditional hymn SATB format. It's a very simple melody line for students to look at and read and sing. And it has beautiful classic artwork throughout. Timothy Botts, the famous calligrapher, just was so excited he did the calligraphy in the book. Keith and Kristen Getty wrote the foreword. This is a very beautiful, high-quality book. So I have a flyer for all of you. It would make a wonderful family Christmas gift, and I think would just bless your home and bless your family in many ways. So if you didn't get a flyer, I'd love to give you one before you go. But I strongly, strongly recommend this book. And anyway, that's it. So Merry Christmas. Thank you so much for coming tonight, and you'll have a great weekend.